It's August 4th, 2025. I'm back from a short break and I really want to reset my objectives and make a plan going forward. So this is going to be a screen sharing video. I'm going to screen share my iPad now and we're going to make a plan together. I have my little notebook where I have my journaling. I have some to-dos, so like some to-do lists that I do on paper, but today it's really about defining the grand objectives. And I'm going to define these objectives into 3 buckets. And the first bucket is the most important one, is the internal work that I need to do in the coming months. Then the second bucket, it's equally as important, is the client work. And the third bucket is the business development. So what work do I do to generate some more business? So let's get going with the internal work. I've done a hot seat recently and a few things emerged. I thought I wanted to start an AI mastermind. I realized that I didn't really want to start an AI mastermind. And I figured out I have an extremely ambivalent relationship with YouTube. I am checking the metrics way too often. I'm putting very much attachment into what happens with the videos. And I think that the YouTube thing is showing me something that is going on internally. So far, I figured out that the YouTube, it kind of triggers a few insecurities. The first insecurity is to be seen. The second insecurity is to actually be validated. And then there is this question of, am I getting more views? Am I getting more viral? Are more people discovering me in this kind of rat race of numbers? What are you doing, iPad? So just looking at the numbers, it's really weird when it starts on its own to create little boxes. Go away, boxes. I don't want to select anything. Okay, whatever. But actually, I have spent quite a bit of time with my parents, and I think there's another core that let's call judgment. And here there's something about two big elements that maybe are connected with being seen, being validated, and this viral numbers thing. And the first thing is really effort. Effort is good. So this is something that really comes from a kind of ancient idea of the work ethic that really doesn't belong in 2025, and it doesn't belong in a world where AI exists, where toil, blood, sweat, and tears are actually good. And you should suffer for the results that you get. And this, for me, kind of translates into, I can't have leverage. So because if I have leverage, thank you for creating these boxes, iPad, whatever. If I have leverage, then I'm not sweating. And so there's something about the judgment inside of me that everything needs to be effortful, that I need to suffer through things that is really damaging me. The other judgment where I'm really actively harming myself is just me. So how I appear, what am I wearing, what does my body look like? How do I look, etc. So there's a lot of internal judgment in how I should look like, what I should wear, etc. And it's something that I really need to look into. Let me browse through my notes for a second here. And the other part of this me bit is something that I already maybe worked on, because is how I express myself, or how do I tell my story? And so it looks like when it came to these aspects, I've done much more work than, as it happens, with these other elements. Like, do I feel good about my body? How do I judge my body? How do I judge how I move inside the world? How do I judge the fact that I'm single? How do I judge the how I appear, etc. And so all of this is so let's say that with these two cores of judgment, with I guess is with a G, and with these two cores of judgment, so the me core 1 and the effort core 2, which I mean, this is, it translates into not good enough, it's never enough, could be more, could be do more. So these things are kind of never ending aspects. And so how do I get out of this? And you can see that the effort judgment, the B seen here is related to judging myself, and the B validated here is connected to the effort bit. And the viral numbers things, I just need to crush it. It's not about that. It's about connecting with just one person. Just one person watching this that I need to connect to and that needs to hear this. Now, this is a bit of the internal work. There are these two cores of judgment. There's this, it expresses itself in making everything effortful, in adding things to the to-do list, in making it all feel bad, right? Because if it has to be effortful, if it has to be hard, then everything becomes hard. And since my business is super simple in reality, and I'm going to describe it in a second, this definitely shouldn't be. So what am I doing for this? So the first thing that I'm doing is I'm journaling. The second thing is definitely that I'm meditating. The third thing is that I want to work with a very specific coach. I'm going to reach out to Julian and maybe send this video to Julian as well, because I think he can really help me get through this. I'm going to link somewhere to his channel as well. And I think, the other thing is definitely I need to do much less, because I have all of this work to do, and this internal work has priority. So this is the most urgent thing that I need to do, at least this August, is to deal with these cores of judgment and this way that the judgment expresses itself in the doing, and it especially expresses itself in the doing when it comes to producing the videos. Okay. And at least these are the 5 things that I'm going to do, but I'm also going to do a lot of walking. I'm going to talk to people in general about this. It's going to be the subject of a lot of conversations. I'm actually going to talk about this with my clients. So this video is also like a forewarning for my clients. This is something that we're going to work on together, because I'm dealing with this for myself, and I'm sure that my clients are dealing with a similar thing, and most probably by helping them, I'm going to be able to help myself. Now, it seems like, I think, there must be other things that I need to work on here, but let me move on to the second bucket here, which is the client work. So I'm going to talk in detail about clients. I'm not going to reveal their names because they didn't really authorize me talking about this. So with, let's say client number 1, what we definitely need to do is we've had 1 month away. So most probably there's a lot going on. So we need to catch up. I already know that there is a discussion to be had on the products. So what are their products and the products lineup. So this is something that we're definitely going to do. And the other thing is that this client is coming up on renewal. And this means a couple of things. The first thing is that the agreement that we have with this client is that they had an objective. So let's say that they had objective to make X thousand euros. And I told them, if you make more than X thousand euros, let's say that you do X plus 50K, I would take 10%, not from the total, but just from the extra of the objective. And we're getting, so at the end of 12 months, and so what I'll ask this client is to be transparent with me and tell me what is the total number, what is the extra over what they expected the year to be, and do the invoice for the 10%. Well, that brings us also to, renewal. Are we renewing? How are we renewing? What are the new objectives? What are the new metrics? What is going to be the price? And all of that is going to be discussed. And I think this is something end of August, beginning of September, or maybe end of September. So this is not just a little break, but it's probably, we have to redesign and let's say future-proof the whole engagement. Okay, so this is going to happen with client number 1. So with client number 2, we are well into the year, and what is happening is that we're having breakthrough after breakthrough, but I'm also receiving a really important brief that we want to go deeper. And this is very exciting for me to go deeper, but it's also going to be very challenging. And so what I want to do is, first of all, to record the breakthroughs that have happened in my absence. I've been off for a couple of weeks, and understand if these, point to a certain direction. And one of the biggest breakthroughs that has happened with this client is actually with a very, very powerful analogical act, psychomagic act. And this has been the focus point of incredible evolution of the work together, and an unlock in revenue, an unlock in sales, an unlock in product quality, a really big unlock. However, this now is creating a lot of breakthroughs, a lot of change, and I'm wondering, is there let's say a follow-up act that, this first act was kind of destroying something, like releasing something, and do we need some more release? Do we need some containment? So which direction are we taking, and how are we getting to what the brief that I'm receiving, the request that I'm receiving, is to get more of everything, more insight, more emotional connection, more emotional intelligence, more insight in the market, more availability of self, 100%, always in real time. And that's pretty challenging. So I need to work a lot on a plan, and it's going to be a plan that will accompany us for at least another 6 to 12 months. And so we also need to think through how we're going to sustain this, and do we have enough energy right now to embark on this, let's say, second journey with this client. So second journey, somehow re-involve. Now with the third client here. So the first thing, we have a team communication issue, and this is something we gotta solve immediately because it's limiting my client's potential to actually reach their goals. The team is not aligned. There's bad communication. The bad communication is on the team's part, but is also on my client's part. So we need to fix it both ways. And this is really, really urgent. Now, what we realize with this client is that they are sort of the perfect partner for entrepreneurs. They are this kind of guardian angel that saves entrepreneurs from making mistakes in all of the big, important moments for an entrepreneur. Finding or firing a partner, going to market, finding money, lending, borrowing more money, recapitalizing, selling a part of the company, selling the whole company. They're kind of the perfect partner. They're like the guardian angel to entrepreneurs. But what happens is that the way that their business model works, they're only rewarded for transactions, not for advice. And so actually what really happens with money is that when the sales happen, when the company sells, when the company acquires another company, etc., only in that moment is my client making any money. And so what needs to happen is that there needs to be a group of entrepreneurs with whom my client works more closely, and that understand that they cannot just pay for the transaction, they also have to pay for the advice. And we need to find those, let's say, open entrepreneurs, and we need to find a process for that, a repeatable process for finding these entrepreneurs. And we need to find a way to fulfill for those entrepreneurs. This is really, really, really important. Then there's another aspect, is that this client is extremely good. It is extremely good at sales. And such a great salesperson doesn't even know what he's doing. He knows what he's doing, but he doesn't know how he's selling. And we need to codify this sales process so that it's repeatable. We need to make sure that everything that happened before, during, and after the sale is tracked so that his team can deal with that. And we need to keep the art that is in this sales process, but also kind of make absolutely sure that what he's doing is repeatable, is as repeatable as possible. So this is the picture for now. This is getting to a long video, but this is the internal work. By the way, that I haven't mentioned, it's probably number 0 here is tarot, and the card that is recurring for this crisis, this mini crisis that I'm going through, mini major crisis, is the Emperor, number 4. So if you are fluent in tarot, you will know that the Emperor represents stability, dominion, peace, having control, enjoying stability, enjoying being, embodying your hopes and your dreams. You have your subjects that are, if you're the emperor, you have your subjects that are doing the work for you, so you can actually chill on the throne knowing that everything is being taken care of. Now, this is the kind of energy that I'm trying to channel and will let me out of the current internal work that I'm doing. It's not like, this is a crisis and after that there's like a green field where nothing else happens. This is a portal to another crisis. Now we're working on this, and in the future we need to work on something else. But let me get into the business development, because probably it's what might be most interesting to a lot of you. Now, what is my business? So my business is right now one-on-one coaching, very deep. Yeah, very, very deep. Very, very deep, very, very personal. Few clients. I don't have capacity for a lot of clients. However, I can reach a ton of clients by talking on stage. And with the stage talking, I'm at this very, very critical moment where I have realized that my speaking product, the talks that I bring on stage, have the power to transform the people in the room. So they have the power to realize, to make my mission true. What is my mission? My mission is transforming the world into myth makers, to allow everyone to access the imagination factory that they have inside of them, tap into that and start changing and impacting the world in ways they never thought possible before. So this is my mission, is empowering people. And this is becoming even more urgent as AI is taking over the world and it's taking away work and is leaving us with our own thoughts and aspirations and dreams. And so now that I know that my mission can become true through stage talks, I need to make a big transition, and I need to go from free to paid talks. So my business looks like this. I need to book stages. Right now, I've mainly spoken for free. I need to transition from, at least during this year, going from all free speeches to a few paid gigs up until getting to a level where all of my speaking gigs are paid. One stage is already booked, beginning of September, the SEO meetup, and that is something that is already happening. It's part of a brilliant friendship and relationship, so obviously it's free, but right now it's the only booked talk. So apparently this is kind of urgent. I need to book stages. What happens when I book a stage is most usually I'll produce a video, and this video then needs to be, edited and published. So after changing the people in the room, I have the opportunity of changing people all around the internet. So this is something that happens. Now, all of this is in the interest of meeting people. And some of these people might be a good fit for working with me. So this might lead to one-on-one coaching. It might also lead to wanting to book me for the stage. And there you go. This is simply the cycle of my business. Now, there's another source that leads to one-on-one coaching, which is simply LinkedIn. So if we want to see it in terms of media, we have one medium that is LinkedIn and the other medium here that is YouTube. And well, if you want to consider the stage as a medium, this is the third medium. So this is as simple as I can describe my business. So what I'm doing right now. So obviously one of the big elements in the to-do list is book stages. The way that I'm doing this is I'm using Zapier agents and ChatGPT agents. And this is still, I haven't figured it out yet. But to simplify the collection phase of possible conference targets, and then to create a briefing document. And then I'm using actually Claude to write a pitch. I'm documented this in another video, and if I find it, I will link it. But I just documented the Claude pitch part. I didn't document the other parts because I'm still figuring that out. But the work on booking the stages is very specific. It's very time consuming. It's right now something that I need to do. I cannot delegate it. I can automate it as much as possible, but I'm not able to delegate it. However, there is one thing I need to make a decision on, a mastermind called Platform 11, if I'm not mistaken, and Impact 11. If you have a name that is not memorable, it's bad. So I need to make a decision on this Impact 11. It's happening also in person in the United States. It will involve travel in the US. So I need to make a decision, but as usual, usually my default is just invest in yourself. And in the same way that I'm going to invest in a specific coach for going through the themes that I'm want to go through these few months, the one that I described at the beginning, I think I'm just going to say yes to the mastermind. There's people I trust that have been through that, and I think it's a fair offer. And yes, it's going to be expensive. The travel to the US is going to be expensive, but I'm sure there's going to be a great return there. So this is something that I'm going to do to simplify this process of booking stages. So this is kind of the main task. Now, from this main task, actually, there's quite a few subtasks. One thing is that I want to completely revise my speaking website before I get it reviewed by these mastermind people, because I just look through it and it's too ChatGPT at the moment. I did it in a moment where I thought, yeah, we can copyright through ChatGPT. No, it's not like that. The core ideas are mine, but the copywriting is off, and I can update it, etc. And I might inquire over maybe an edit of the showreel, because there's some parts of my showreel that are a little bit imperfect. So that is definitely something that I'm going to do. Now, also in this process of booking stages, there is a call for speakers for new ideas from TED. Actually need to do that. There is South by Southwest with the panel picker still open, I think, in August. I need to check that out, do it before it closes. So there's a lot going on there. Now, the other thing that I want to do is I want to finish my course, Founder Journey. So there's just 3 videos out right now. I'm going to link to the playlist somewhere, and I want to continue those. I think it's really important for me to continue those, but I need to do the slides and make it nice and prepare it correctly and so on. Then I have a tax deadline, and that is, unfortunately, the VAT in Germany is monthly, which is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous waste of time. It's something that could be batched, and instead I need to do the VAT monthly. So I need to stop and spend like 3-4 hours just collecting all the invoices from last month, July, put them in the system and get the tax return done. Oh, look, yeah, you see how the business development is taking all the space. And together with that, definitely LinkedIn. I want to start doing some more outreach on LinkedIn. I'm going to refine the current outreach that I'm doing. I'm also working with a coach for this, and we're going to do some business development work. One of the ideas that we had was to create one of these scorecards as a lead magnet. So this is something that might happen. The other thing is that my rebrand is kind of still work in progress. So there's a new website in the works. Here I have my designer working on this, and I already know who's going to implement the website, so that is not a problem. I have a very, very trusted person on Upwork. Thank you, Liviu. And so this is kind of taken care of. So is this it? Yeah, then there's a lot of kind of, there's the kind of routine stuff. So there's a newsletter, there's the weekly videos, there's the LinkedIn posts, and this is the stuff that kind of gets done every week. It's almost automatic. And to be honest, I would need to add a whole other section, but I don't want to bore you with the stuff that I need to do in terms of car maintenance. But I have 2 cars that need new tires. For 2 cars, the service is due in September. Then I have some winter tires that need refinishing. So we got to strip the paint them again. And I need new winter tires for those. So sorry, the rims need to be repainted. So there's a lot going on in this fall, and I'm actually doing a barbecue at the farm. If you're invited, good. If you're not invited, sorry. I'm doing a barbecue at the farm at the middle of the month. It's something just for design and product and startup people in Berlin. It's a very select few people, but I'm really excited about that. There's a talk in September at the SEO meetup. There's a lot going on. There's a collaboration with Factory and my presence at IFA at the beginning of September. So that's also something I need to add here. IFA prep, SEO talk. So you see, this is the big picture of what is going on in this is the big picture of what is going on here. There's a ton of internal work to do. It's very clear, but there's a ton of internal work to do. There's some really exciting client work that I can't wait to tackle. And the business development part is kind of centered around lead generation on LinkedIn, but mostly the stage and how this comes together. And I'm really, really excited for the months to come. Thank you for witnessing this. It's such a pleasure to do this in the open. And now I'm gonna focus on this, transform this into next actions, but mostly next inactions. I'm just not gonna do a lot of this. I'm gonna try and resist and do the least amount of work possible in terms of smashing to-dos, and I'm gonna do the maximum amount of internal work that I can do. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching 36 minutes. Maybe it's gonna be shorter through the editing, but yeah, that's 36 minutes of shot footage.